Hello, myself Sunil and I'm here basically discussing on the topic that is investment of software industry. In this basically we are discussing the topic that is software industry basically. One of the person told that basically if we will see little bit higher level basically the conditions of if basically comes like this also. Like for example, if software equal to PHP. If we go basically little bit higher basically, then it connects like this. If software equal to PHP, if software equal to Python, if software equal to SAP, if software equal to Microsoft, if software equal to Oracle, if software equal to mainframe, if software equal to Pascal. Like this also basically the condition comes. So another person told that when this type of condition comes, yeah basically. When basically this type of condition comes. So one of the person told that the power supply basically which they are passing the data basically to the computer, right? They are basically passing the if condition. So if condition basically which they are passing for particular software wise, particular city wise, or basically particular computer wise. For example, Dell computer basically somebody is using. So they know that basically it's the Dell computer and they are passing their power supply. They don't know na basically. So how basically this everything basically works basically. So one of the person told that, for example, one client basically executed one if condition. For example, one PHP is ongoing in some Dell or in HP computers. So server basically gets the request. Through power supply only basically the request has sent basically, right? Through IaaS basically this all on normal configuration that basically you can view in the videos basically, or basically you can watch any Google. There also basically lots of IaaS configurations are given. So IaaS basically went there. PHP is the file, it passes to the PHP engine basically. These all are the normal thing basically. That basically normal kid also basically who are working in who are basically working in any of the software company basically for 1 or 2 years experience basically. They all also basically know this everything basically. The fresher basically might not know this everything basically, but they have to take the experience then only basically they can. So they told that PHP file basically passed the condition. They basically passed the around, assume that basically in one file basically there are around 1 crore if conditions. So 1 crore if conditions basically are getting passed. So one of the person to the if condition where basically it gets supplied basically. Is it basically the server side or it's a client side basically? Then another person told that might be because client required the data basically. They basically don't need if condition, that condition, that this condition. They just need the output basically. And this everything basically at processed in where? So basically at the server side basically. So the file basically whatever conditions basically output basically which we are giving, that are processed in the software, that is basically in the PHP basically, PHP.dll basically, whatever thing basically exe API basically whatever. So that basically get processed. But here the question is the if condition basically, for example, assume that when the file was going of the PHP to serve client to server basically, that time basically somebody told that basically we are hijacking this client basically, and from that client basically he hijacked 500 power supply only. That means only 500 cities power supply is passed to the client side. He basically according to that filtered the rest of data and sent it to the server side. So server basically which is created by the HP Compaq are capable up to that level basically. They can understand basically that 500 city has been ignored by the power supply company. So one of the satellite person told that Sunil basically you are 100% correct basically. So you have basically fired the entire software server companies basically. So this basically each and every software server company basically have to watch this video basically. But they are not watching. Why? Because there are few people basically who are sitting at the video basically of the Sunil Nair channel, and they are basically not passing the data to the another company side basically. That means your YouTube channel has been blocked by some government industry basically. That is American government. They don't like you basically. Why? Because you have find so much of error basically in the creation of software industry which is created by United States of America and Europe basically. In that basically Russian group also basically jumped and they also told that baby ये तो हमारी भी गलती निकाल रहा है. So one of the person told, yeah, basically we can't believe this Sunil basically. The server basically is not capable basically. You want to say that? Because 500 data is basically 500 sorry, like this basically the server will get hijacked basically. Then the server company told that yes, yeah, basically this actually the software company told that we actually never be able to understand what actually you want to say basically. Then basically we will understand our server creation. Na? So one of the novel basically group basically they told that yes, basically Sunil basically we understood what actually we want to say. We have to do a little bit changes in the Noval server basically. Noval is one server, na, basically. Lots of people say that it's a booting basically device is that, but it's one server basically. So one of the person told that so clients are itself one server basically. That also you can say. Lots of people. One of the video basically I watched. One girl basically told, yeah, client and server basically there is no relation. There is no basically difference basically. So it might be correct also. That means that girl basically know lots of things. That means that girl is connected with the creator group basically. So one of the person told that like this the if condition basically got terminated and it went to the server basically. Now server basically don't know anything. He don't know that basically powers 500 city data only has passed because server only know those things basically which is data is passed na basically within this between the anybody basically do the hijack and he passed his data and he basically hijacked the entire server basically. Here server group can't do anything. Why? Because they have not created up to that level basically the server. So all server basically got failed basically. IBM server got failed, Microsoft server got failed, Dell computer server got failed, Compaq server failed, HP computer server got failed, Nadar basically that is I think Steve Nadar basically his server basically got failed. So lots of server basically got failed here basically. So one of the person to the who actually created had this everything basically you want to know this basically asked by the one of the satellite group who actually do you have the name of that group basically who created this everything basically. So Sunil and I told that is America basically that is in front of the world basically because one person know that basically but someone basically might find the error basically. So he basically kept himself basically very safe. So here basically in front of the world it is America basically. So in future basically the space center will go watch this video. They will say that basically अरे भाई अमेरिका को पकड़ो but it's not really America basically. It's some other country basically who has created this and kept America in front of the world and Europe is also basically in front of the world basically. These two country basically have to face all problem basically of the world basically. World Trade Center, these, that, each and everything basically. Then Second World War, First World War, everything basically they have to face. Europe, Russia, Japan, China, India have to relax basically. So one of the person told that what is ongoing here basically. So one of the person told that this is the biggest error basically in the software industry basically. The text box error is nothing basically. Text box error is nothing here because it's self. So basically the error is in server basically itself, which is processing the entire human needs basically. You will not able to believe it basically. The entire human needs are getting processed in this server basically and that itself basically have error. So now basically one of the person told that now basically whom to tell basically because server creator only basically has created the error basically. Now whom to tell? So in next video basically we are going to say which all are those group basically who have to tell this basically.